Hey there tech fans, Rick here again from Drone Valley. In today's video, I'd like to show you the Orei UHD-14VW video wall controller. This product makes it incredibly easy for you to organize 4 monitors into a gigantic video wall that you can use to display all of your HDMI content. The product fully supports 4K ultra high definition media and is both HDMI 2.0 as well as HDCP 2.2 compliant, which means it's going to work perfectly fine with all of your modern media gear. The unit also provides 8 different pre-programmed display modes that you can easily select between by tapping the button on the front of the unit, using the infrared remote control, or through a direct RS-232 connection to a local computer. It even provides dual inputs, both USB-C and HDMI, to make connecting to your media device incredibly easy. The product also features audio extraction capabilities, which will digitally separate the audio from the media stream you're displaying and allow you to pass that along through an analog or digital connection to a soundbar or home stereo for that full theater experience. Now, as part of this overview, I'd like to start with a quick unboxing just to show you everything that's included with the kit, and then I'll take a closer look at the unit and explain the connections and indicators so you understand how to use it. I'll do a short demonstration to show you just how easy this product will be to use with your own equipment, and then I'll come back and point out a few things that I really like about this product that you can use to compare it to others you may be considering. So let's get started with the unboxing. When you first pop open the box, you'll find the unit. You'll find a 12-volt 1-amp DC power supply. You can plug this into any standard wall outlet. The other end of the cable has a barrel connector on it with a locking collar, which plugs directly into the back of the unit and provides all the power you'll need for operation. Also included is an infrared extender kit. This can be used if you have to mount this inside of a cabinet, and this will actually extend the remote control function outside the cabinet, and it plugs directly into the back of the unit, and I'll show you that in a second. You'll find a bracketing kit you can use to mount it up off the ground and out of the way, as well as an RS-232 connection block. If you decide to control this from a local computer, this just makes it easier to wire it up. An infrared remote control is also included, and that's really nice because it allows you to make your selections from quite a distance away from the product. You'll find a warranty card and a full instruction manual also included that lists connection diagrams, specifications, and other really important details about the product that you'll need to understand in order to use it correctly. Now, if you stay tuned next, I'll take a closer look at the unit, I'll do the demonstration, and then I'll point out a few things that I really like about this particular video wall controller that you can use to compare it to others you may be considering. The Orei UHD-14VW features a full metal enclosure which makes it incredibly durable and really the perfect choice for both residential and commercial installations. On either side of the cabinet, you'll find ventilation slots that are designed to let any heat that develops during operation escape to keep the electronics inside at a very comfortable temperature. On the bottom of the unit, there are mounting holes that can be used with the included bracketing kit to mount it up off the ground and out of the way, as well as 4 rubber feet that help to protect the surface you set this down on and keep it from sliding around during operation. On the front of the unit, starting on the left, you'll find a power button and a power indicator. The minute you have power to the module and turn it on, it immediately starts an internal power on self-test where it checks the electronics, as well as checking the resolution of your media content and the resolution of your 4 monitors. And once it passes that test, it'll light this LED letting you know it's ready to use. To the right of that are 3 more LEDs labeled HDMI, USB-C, and Auto. These first 2 indicate which of the inputs is currently being sent to your output monitors, and you can choose the one you want to use by tapping the appropriate button right here. So if you'd like to use the HDMI input, tap this button, that LED will come on. If you'd like to use the USB-C input, tap this button and that LED will come on. You can also put it in automatic mode where the unit will choose which of the inputs is active based on which of them is connected to a media device. To the right of that is an infrared receiver window, and that's used with the included remote control, and that's where the signals are picked up. So if you mount this outside of a cabinet, make sure that window is visible if you're using the remote control. If you have to mount this inside of a cabinet, you can use the infrared extension kit included with the product to extend that receiver outside the cabinet, and I'll show you where that plugs in a minute. There are 4 more buttons on the front labeled HDMI, USB-C, mode, and resolution. The first 2 allow you to choose which of the inputs is currently active. The next one allows you to step through the various modes that the unit provides for output displays. So a 2x2, 2x1, 4x1, you can tap this to step through those based on the configuration of your 4 monitors. Finally, to the right of that is a resolution button. You can tap that to step through the various resolutions that this product supports for both the input media and the output displays. On the rear of the units where you'll make all your connections, starting on the left you'll find two input connections, a full-size HDMI and a USB-C. Both of these can be active and you can select which of these you'd like to use to display on the four output monitors by tapping the buttons on the front. These connect to whatever media device you'd like to display the content from across those monitors. To the right of that is a section labeled Audio Out, and there are two ports here, an optical SPDIF and a left and right analog. This unit provides audio extraction capabilities where it digitally separates the audio from the media content you're displaying and allows you to pass that audio through an optical connection or a left and right analog connection to a soundbar or home stereo system for better quality audio. To the right of that are four full-sized HDMI ports that are outputs, and these connect to your four monitors that you'd like to create that gigantic video wall from, and always use a high-quality HDMI cable to make that connection. To the right of that is an RS-232 connection block. You can control this unit from a local computer that's connected to it through an RS-232 connection, and there's a little adapter you can use to make that connection easier included with the kit. To the right of that is a 3.5mm port labeled IR extension, and that's where the infrared extender kit plugs in if you have to mount this inside of a cabinet. You'll simply plug it in here and locate the receiver outside the cabinet. Finally, to the right of that is a DC input port, and that's used with the included power supply. You'll simply plug that power supply into a standard wall outlet. The cable coming from that power supply has a barrel connection on it which plugs in right there, and you can finger tighten the collar to make sure it doesn't pop out. Now I'll do a short demonstration to show you just how easy it'll be to use this product with your own equipment. And to get started, I've set up a small media player right over here that's currently looping a video, and that's the media content I'd like to view on the video wall. Over here I've set up four monitors in a 2x2 configuration to create this big video wall, and this is where I'd like to enjoy the content from my media device. In front of me I have the Orei UHD-14VW. Now the first connection I'll make is from my media player to the unit, and you have a choice of using USB-C or HDMI for that connection. This media player uses HDMI, and I've already connected a high-speed cable up to the player. The other end of that plugs into the HDMI input port on the back of the unit. And now I'm ready to connect up the monitors. I have a 2x2 configuration here, and it's really important to understand which monitor plugs into which port. This would be output number 1, number 2, number 3, and number 4, and I've already labeled those cables so I plug them into the right connection. So I'll start by plugging monitor 1 into output port 1, 2 to 2, 3 to 3, and finally 4 to 4. And once I've made those connections, we can connect the power up. I've already plugged in the power supply. The other end of that cable has a barrel connection on it with a locking collar, and the minute I add power to the unit, it immediately starts an internal power on self-test where it checks the electronics. It's checking the resolution of my input device and the resolution of all four monitors to make whatever adjustments are needed to give you the best possible picture over here. And there you go. So what you're viewing here is a single media device that this unit has broken into four parts and organized those across the four monitors, again, to create this gigantic video wall. And you have a lot of control over the 8 different display modes of how you configure these monitors. But in my case, it's a 2x2, and you can see it's a giant picture based on that media content that's being sent to the unit and outputted to these four monitors. And again, you can choose between those 8 different display modes by using the remote control, the button on the front, or even through that RS-232 connection to a local computer. And it's just a great product to allow you to create this big video wall off a single device. And it really is just that easy to get it working. I hope that closer look was helpful. Now here are a few really important things to keep in mind when you're comparing the Orei UHD-14VW video wall controller with other products you may be considering. The first thing has to do with resolution. This product fully supports 4K ultra-high definition media content at up to 60 frames a second. And that's important because a lot of other units on the market may only support 1080p content, or if they support 4K content at all, it may only be 30 frames a second. So knowing you've got a product that can fully support that higher resolution at the higher frame rate means you can use it with all of your equipment today and know that you can upgrade some of that equipment later on and still use the unit. Two other important differences are the HDMI certification of 2.0 and the HDCP certification of 2.2. And the reason those are important is because the HDMI standard has gone through a lot of changes, there have been a lot of new features introduced, and knowing you're on the latest version of HDMI for 4K content means you can immediately take advantage of all those features. The HDCP certification is important as well because that controls copy protection. So again, knowing you're on the latest version of HDCP means you won't have any problems playing all of your media files through the unit. Another nice feature is the dual inputs. The fact that you can connect this up through a USB-C connection or an HDMI connection gives you a lot of flexibility when you're connecting it up to your media device. The inclusion of the infrared remote control is another nice feature that allows you to control this unit from a distance away. A lot of other video wall controllers may only have buttons on the front or a network connection to control how the output is displayed. I really like the fact that they've included an infrared extender kit as well, because if you have to mount this inside of a cabinet, this allows you to locate the receiver outside the cabinet and plug it into the back of the unit so you can continue to use the remote control. And the final thing is the fact that this unit provides audio extraction capabilities where it can digitally separate the audio from the media stream you're displaying, and again allow you to pass that along through an analog or a digital connection to a soundbar or a home stereo for better quality audio. Everything you need to get started is included with the kit, and with a few simple connections you can be up and running in no time. So until next time, thanks again for watching.